Welcome to Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today we're going to be going over the Black Library. Now, before we get into the video, take the wikis with a grain of salt. Also, I do a regular biblical video on Mondays, and the rest of the content is Warhammer 40k related. So, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this. The Black Library of Chaos, also known simply as the Black Library, is the secret Asuryani craft world that serves as the Aeldari's repository of the forbidden lore concerning the ruinous powers that exist somewhere within the labyrinthine passages of the Webway. The Aeldari craft worlds became the only surviving sources of their ancient knowledge of sorcery and the ruinous powers of chaos after the fall of the species to the birth of Slaanesh, she who thirsts. As the craft worlds have drifted apart, this knowledge has consequently become fragmented, and as some craft worlds have become lost over the millennia, more precious Aeldari knowledge has been lost with them. The Black Library is governed by a body of the wisest Asuryani Farseers, drawn from all of the craft worlds known as the Black Council. The Black Council is the closest the fractitious Aeldari species has come to an advisory body that looks after the interests of the entire race. The Aeldari know more of chaos than humanity ever will, and still more was lost when the Aeldari Empire collapsing during the fall. Yet a single source of Aeldari knowledge has remained untouched and inviolate since the fall. In a hidden location, some say at the very center of the Webway, the Aeldari network of stable interdimensional tunnels that crosses the galaxy, rest the tomes, books, scrolls, and codices describing the Aeldari's complete and extensive knowledge of the warp. The forbidden lore of the Black Library describes the blandishments, influences, forms, creatures, perils, promises, and horrors of chaos. The existence of the Black Library is known to only a few, and entry is allowed to even fewer individuals. The library defends itself against the weak and those who would misuse its knowledge by refusing entry to all except those who have acknowledged and tempered the chaos within themselves. The immature, who are still vulnerable to the promises and seductions of chaos, find that they are unable to pass through its gateway. As a result, only the solitaires of the Aeldari Harlequin troops are allowed to come and go freely, although some say that a human, perhaps an inquisitor, has also been allowed to do so. So this is the history. The Black Library is the only source of the Aeldari's knowledge concerning chaos that has remained untouched. It was created by the Aeldari deity Kegorok, or Segorok, one of the two, better known as the Laughing God, though for what purposes the god created this repository can only be guessed. The Black Library is spoken by the Aeldari as dark craft world existing within the Webway, far beyond the reach of the Imperium of Man. Within are the collected tomes and writings describing the Aeldari studies of the Imperium and all the entities that live within it. These writings also describe all aspects of chaos, its perils, promises, and horrors. The library is enclosed within a nearly impenetrable psychic barrier and is watched and maintained by its Aeldari guardian scribes, who collate and transcribe the knowledge of the Black Library, a task they have carried out since the fall. The Black Library contains not just the Aeldari's knowledge of chaos. Any new knowledge of chaos gained by any intelligent species of the galaxy is taken and kept within the library. These include a copy of the Book of Magnus, the potent tome of sorcery created by the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion's Primarch, or the Book of Lorgar, written by the Primarch of the Word Bearers Traitor Legion, that sought to spread the teachings of the ruinous powers, both written before the Horus Heresy. The Black Library is as much a source of knowledge for those who fight chaos as it is a vault to keep dangerous knowledge hidden and protected from those who would misuse it. The existence of the Black Library is known to few, and even fewer are allowed access to it. The library's collective psychic mind, embodied in it, its infinity circuit, defends itself. Barring the weak and corruptible, only those who have mastered the temptations of chaos within themselves are able to enter. Two groups come and go at will, the human Illuminati and the Aeldari Solitaires, the most dangerous of the Harlequins. The Imperial Inquisitor Bronislaw Savek was granted entry by the Black Council once to study the accumulated lore concerning mankind's interaction with chaos, but had to prove himself worthy of the honor. Inquisitor Jack Draco also managed to find a way into the Black Library and steal the Book of the Ranadandra, known alternatively among Imperial scholars as the Eldar Book of Fate. The Chaos Sorcerer, Ahriman, of the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion, sought entrance to the library in his vain attempt to better understand his master, the Mercurial Zinc, the Changer of the Ways and Chaos God of Sorcery. For many Terran centuries, the Black Library and its guardians managed to repel this particularly troublesome would-be invader. Then in year 998, the 41st millennium, my goodness, shortly before Abaddon the Despoiler, 13th Black Crusade began. Ahriman led his warband of Thousand Sons into the Webway in an effort to finally claim the Black Library, engaging in furious battles with the Harlequins and the forces of the craft worlds of the Uthway and the Loganath. Ahriman advanced to within the site of the library itself. However, several major arteries of the Webway were choked with the dead before the heretic Astartes were driven from the secret paths leading to the library. The breach caused by the rampaging sorcerers was sealed, but as a result, a section of the Webway was lost forever to the Aeldari. Okay, the final act. At the very heart of the Black Library, there lies a silver-lit vault. Therein stands a plinth made of finely graven obstinite, upon which rests a crystalline book said to contain words of the Aeldari god Segorok himself. Actually, somebody in comments, I saw different ways of saying that, so let me know what it is. If it's Kegorog or my goodness, I can't even say it. Kegorak or Segorok. One of the two. Since the fall. Okay. The tome's covers have remained closed, sealed shut with flickering chains of light. Yet now, long-awaited portents have come to pass. A fallen sorcerer sought and nearly won the lore of the library. A king stirred back to life in his court of death and silence, and rose once more to lead mankind. As the signs of the Ranadandra have come to pass, so the bands of light about the tome have flickered and died. My goodness. Now at last the tome has fallen open, following the birth of the Great Rift. Within its pages, the Shadow Seers have found a script, a secret final act that changes utterly the tale of the fall. penned in inks of light and shadow. These words present a slender hope, detailing an intricate galaxy-spanning performance within the potential to change the fate of the Aeldari species. Always, the strands of fate have pointed toward the victory of chaos during the last mythic battle of creation known to the Aeldari as the Rana Dandra. Yet within the pages of the Crystal Tome is recorded Segarak's ultimate jest, a way to trick Slanesh to expending all her power not to destroy the Aeldari, but to save them. How such an impossibility could come to pass is unclear, for on this matter the final act is infuriatingly vague. Yet the Harlequins take their god's words on faith alone, for their devotion to Segarak is total and his methods beyond question or reproach. Thus they have begun the steps of this final dance, and will see it completed, or else face absolute destruction in the attempt. Alright, now we're going to move on to the biblical side of things. So real quick, because every time I always bring up the book of Enoch, I always get detractors. So this is Jude 1:14. And Enoch also, and 15 by the way. Also the seventh from Adam prophesied to thee, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Basically, it gets it right from Enoch, and it's saying Enoch prophesied of these sayings. So there was a book of Enoch. Okay. Now, the book of Enoch also says that was it meant to be scripture. The first part of it tells you that it wasn't, right? So, anyways. So I don't think it's supposed to be scripture. But anyways, hold everything up to the Bible. So now, this is talking about these chief ones. These, I guess you could say, they're up there, just right below Satan, basically, is who these guys are. There's 5 of them here. So now we're going to go to the 4th. This is verse 8, chapter 69. And the 4th was named Penume. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper. Okay, so now, he taught the children the bitter and the sweet, right? And he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. This is what we would call the 7 sacred sciences. Okay, or this, you could say like chaos, right? The knowledge of chaos, basically, is what it's talking about here. And from his hand, okay, and he instructed mankind in writing in ink and paper. This is like enchantments and, and stuff like that, right? And thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity, and until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. And it's going to tell you what it is here in a second, because it sounds, like he wants us to be dumb, right? But that's not what he's saying. For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous. Ready? And death. Okay, pay attention to that. And death. This is like your chaos type thing, right? Your warp, which destroys everything, could not have taken hold of them. But through this, their knowledge, they are perishing, and through this power, it is consuming me. This is Enoch saying that. So, interesting. And then we have Revelation 20 and 12. So we got this library in heaven, pretty much, right? With these books. So Revelation 20:12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So it's got all this stuff written in it. So you can say God is keeping tabs as well, right? He's got his library, I guess I should say. So Revelation 5:2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. Why did I put that twice? Yep, that's me. All right. Now we're going to get into the Harlequin style thing here, right? So Psalms 35:16. With hypocritical mockers and feasts, they gnashed upon me with their teeth. That's interesting. Very interesting. So with these hypocritical mockers is this word. Leg. Mocking, but it means jesters, stammering. So this is what it means. The jesters. So very interesting. But anyways, now we get right back into Warhammer 40k lore. A Harlequin, known in the Aeldari lexicon as the Rillaton, is a member of a very distinct subgroup of Aeldari species who belongs to none of the existing Aeldari factions, including the Asuryani of the Craft Worlds, the Exodites, or the Drukhari of Comarog. They are the keepers of the Black Library and serve the enigmatic Aeldari deity called the Laughing God. The Harlequins see no distinction between art and war, and their outlook can best be explained by reference to the legend of the fall of the Aeldari. One of their self-appointed duties is to keep this legend alive through their performances. The central figure of the Harlequin belief is Segarok, the Great Harlequin, also known as the Laughing God. Is that Segarach? If that's Segarach, yeah, I'm sorry. What am I doing here? Okay, none truly know how this strange being survived the birth of Slanesh, where the other gods of the Aeldari pantheon did not. However, every Harlequin is firm in the belief that Segarok escaped into the bounds of the Webway, existing there still behind myriad of disguises and mocking she who thirsts from behind the veil. The Laughing God is the only authority that the Harlequins recognize, and their every deed is the thought to be in furtherance of his own inscrutable agenda. Man, say that 5 times fast. Harlequins are undeniably part of the Aeldari species, yet they owe no allegiance to any given Asuryani craftworld or Drukhari cabal, a kindred apart from their fellows. These enigmatic warriors, often credited with supernatural powers, and many amongst with or both Asuryani and Drukhari society, believe that the Harlequins know most, if not all, of the secret paths through the endless maze of the Webway. They are welcomed by all of the Aeldari kindreds, including the Drukhari of Comarog and other Webway satellite realms, and are known for their brightly colored clothing, incredible agility, even for an Aeldari, and the use of unusually powerful weapons. Harlequins always organize themselves into groups they call troops, which are led by a leader known as a troop master. Alright, guys. We're going to go ahead and end it there, because I'm hurting for time right now. But anyways, I thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.